Bueno, a ver, continuemos. A ver, ¿en qué quedamos? El diario, ¿verdad? Hal se acaba de llamar, dijo que tenía algo que sobre un bebé del asesinato. Estaba tan emocionado que me preocupó que terminara desmayándose. No hay nada malo con lo académico apasionado, pero espero que esté más tranquilo para el momento en que llegue. Está perturbando mi compromiso con... El libro sobre tambores radar llegó hoy, quizás sabe que están diciendo todos los profesionistas. Ok, a ver, ¿qué tenemos entonces? Fotografía, la carta del reloj. Un momentito.
The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can. It
Ah,
was sent.
sí.
The letter is addressed. One of the
A ver,
reoccurring.
recuerdo
The
eso.
only other thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of a quill tip, bold strokes, and underlining.
Eso sí lo recuerdo. Carta de Wolfgang.
Wolfgang's letter says,
Dear Gabriel, please read the enclosed journal carefully. It might help you understand your family's special obligations and our current predicament. God be with you. Uncle Wolfgang.
Gabriel reads through the pages Wolfgang marked. He reads of Gunther Ritter's journey to Charleston as a witch hunter, hired by the townsmen to solve a series of ritualistic murders. He
Interesante.
reads about Gunther's meeting with the beautiful slave woman, Tetelo, and of Gunther's tormenting urges for her.
Poor bastard.
He reads of their physical union and passion, and of Gunther's investigation into the murders. The victims were all crew members on a certain slaving expedition to Africa, it seems. The second to the last entry describes Gunther's plan to set a trap for the coven committing the murders. He'd found a name on one of the surviving members of the crew, a man now living in the West Indies. Gunther has spread a false rumor that the man is returning to Charleston. He himself will impersonate a sailor and allow himself to fall into the hands of the coven. Naturally, Gunther has arranged for able-bodied assistants to follow and attack the coven before they can do him harm.
Ballsy son of a bitch, wasn't he?
Gabriel turns to the final entry of the journal.
Querido padre, os ofrezco estas palabras finales como disculpa por el daño causado a nuestro sagrado oficio. El comercio en lo que escribí, Tetelo, era la bruja que buscaba. He cometido crímenes terribles. Yo amaba a esa bruja. Luego la traicioné y utilicé el poder de nuestra familia para el sagrado liberarla y ayudarla a destruir esta colonia. El talismán se ha perdido. Tetelo lo tomó. Solo puedo orar por vuestro perdón, por la pronta recuperación del talismán y que mi castigo en el infierno sea largo y amargo. Vuestro indigno hijo Gunther. Interesante. ¿Qué más tenemos? Y el libro Rada.
The book contains several pages of Rada drum codes.
Bueno, bastante que investigar ahora. Wolfgang vendió el diario de uno de los antepasados, Gunther. Hablaba acerca de esta extraña casa de brujería que investigó en Charleston. Sí, él era un cazador de brujas. Suena como el caso. Tiene muchísimo que ver con el embudo y termina destrozado. Esta es una increíble coincidencia. Aquí no me quedo frío. Pendiente seguro de ello. Ok. ¿Y este
Get the
tipo?
hell out of here.
The figure outside does not respond.
¿Podemos hablar un
Got a
momento?
minute, Grace?
What's up?
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No. Is that a voodoo word?
I don't think so. It's German.
No, sorry. I don't speak German.
Bueno, iré a ver al profesor. Vamos.
See you later.
See ya.
Oficina de Hartridge.
Hey, Hartridge, what's the good word?
No.
Hartridge?
Oh, mierda.
Oh, God, not again. He's looked better.
Whatever Hartridge may have learned, he can't share it with Gabriel now. At least not vocally. That would be up to the coroner.
I'm not touching that body.
¿Qué tenemos? Hartridge.
Gabriel doesn't feel comfortable sitting around here under the circumstances. This is a crime scene. Gabriel wants to disturb it as little as possible.
Lo que sí tenemos. Escritorio.
This is a crime scene. Gabriel wants to
¿Qué tenemos aquí? Lápiz, notas, escritorio.
Damn, this is his notepad. But the top sheet's been taken.
This is a crime scene.
¿Qué tenemos?
There must be something here about what Hartridge found out about that Veve.
Ah, mira vos. Nota interesante.
Hartridge's notes. This must be about the Veve.
Lo siento, amigo.
Whatever Hartridge... The shelves behind Hartridge's desk are full of old books. Gabriel's seen enough old books to last a lifetime. Gabriel fights the urge to give the globe a spin.
No es el momento. Oscar africano.
Gabriel doesn't want to The squatter grins maliciously at Gabriel. The carved stone head looks African and is very old. Gabriel doesn't feel comfortable sitting around here under the circumstances. There's nothing of interest in the wastebasket. A wastebasket next to the desk is filled with crumpled paper. It's an enormous stone head. Gabriel doesn't...
Ok.
You want me to talk to a fish?
Sí, buen
Gabriel
punto.
doesn't want to... Exotic fish lend even more color to the cluttered office.
Ok. Veamos esto.
Thank God Hartridge was a doodler.
Mierda. Sí, ahora que... No traigo nada de captura.
Before leaving the university, Gabriel notifies campus security about Hartridge's body.
¿Mujer sabrá algo? Vamos.
Miss Getty is busy, officer, and has instructed me to wish you good luck. That is all.
If you'll just tell her...
Goodbye, sir.
Bien. Continuemos. Vale. Si me decís que no te crees el asesinato este. Ok.
Three nearly identical little girls are playing jump rope outside the station. There's something a little off about them.
Hey there, girls.
The little girls stare at Gabriel, but say nothing to him.
Vamos.
Gabriel's double Dutch skills leave something to be desired.
Of all the things I could go to jail for, that is not gonna be one of them.
No, joder.
Hey,
The drummer looks at Gabriel but says nothing in return.
that can't be good.
Porque presiento que por cada cosa, por cada rada que aparece algo raro va a pasar. Vamos, Lee. Vamos. Si no me crees esto.
Hey, mostly.
Knight, I had a feeling you'd show up.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
There's been another murder. A professor at Tulane.
Oh, Christ. You're not gonna start this again.
Just listen. This guy's name is Hartridge. He was a professor in African Studies at Tulane. Well, yesterday I went to see him about the voodoo murders case. He agreed to do some research for me. He calls me up this morning, tells me he's on to something big, and when I get over there, the guy's dead.
You know, you're really getting your ass in a sling over this thing, Knight.
It's not about me. Look, Hartridge's death looked just like Crash's. I'm telling you, they were both murdered, and by the same people who did the voodoo murders.
Did either Crash or this new guy have their hearts ripped out?
No.
Then there's nothing to link either to the voodoo murders M.O. Besides that, the case is closed, Knight. If the coroner's report asks for a homicide investigation on either of these guys, fine. But it's not gonna be related to the voodoo murders case unless we find damn good reason to do so.
But I'm the link to the voodoo murders case. Don't you see?
Look, if I were you, I wouldn't repeat that to anyone. Because if I weren't an old friend of yours, I might take you seriously and lock you up. As it is, maybe you should start keeping your mouth shut and not involve other people with this shit if you think it's so dangerous.
Gracias.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
I already told you. You still need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in New Orleans. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
Gracias.
What do you know of...
What else do you want to know?
How many murders have there been so far?
7 murders have so far been linked to the voodoo murders case. The first murder occurred about 8 weeks ago. The M.O. is the same in each murder. Lake Pontchartrain was the 7th.
Do you know anything about the killers?
At least 20 people attend the killings. We know this from the variety of footprints found at the scenes.
Footprints. Aren't those as good as fingerprints?
Can be, but we'd have to have a suspect in custody first. And the suspect would have to match one of the few distinct prints we have. Most of the footprints are smudged, trodden over, unreadable. These guys are so casual in their expertise, it's maddening. Like they know we'll never find them.
Know anything about the victims?
The victims are all out-of-towners. We still don't know why.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Sure, no problem. Okay, anything else?
No. No, nada más. Nos vemos. Voy a investigar.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
Have a good one.
Vamos a ver.
Excuse me, officer.
Yes?
Oh, never mind.
Fine. I'll get back to work.
Vámonos aquí. Esto realmente no me agrada. Vamos a la librería.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
That doesn't seem to work that way.
Hablemos.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
No. Vámonos. Vamos a la Plaza Jackson.
You know, I know who you are.
The drummer ignores Gabriel and just continues drumming. Unnerving, isn't he?
Funcionará.
The book contains several pages.
Thank God Hartridge was a doodler.
Benny. Un momento, pero ¿qué es eso de Benny? Es la más loca que lo pondría en el libro. Los 7 cadereros forasteros y las iguales. Siempre se verán donde se encuentra una pista. Él dice que los aspectos vudú son falsos. ¿Por qué la policía llega a esa conclusión? A menos que se asegure a los practicantes locales. Sangre de cabra, cera de vela, incluso pelo de leopardo.
Gabriel wouldn't mind picking up a few extra bucks by using Madame Lorelei's booth while she's gone. But he doesn't know how to belly dance.
Qué raro.
Madame Lorelei's booth is deserted. A Cajun band, inventive as always with their instruments, is having a good old time on the lawn. Funny how catchy that toe tapping can be.
¿Esto es pausa? Oh, sí, es pausa. Regresar al juego.
Hey, bro. Nice horse.
Vamos a la cátedra. ¿Pasó algo aquí? ¿Nada? No. Qué extraño que sí. Silencio hombre, ahora sí.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait! Gabriel Knight.
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
Máquina preguntarle algo. Llama exactamente por la de Crystal House Serpiente.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve. It is the greatest night of the voodoo year. There is always a traditional conclave on St. John's Eve. Most of our voodoo churches these days hold functions in the church hall. But in the old days, they had ceremonies out in the wild. They wore animal masks and had a huge bonfire and dancing. I used to go when I was an apprentice. Sometimes in the swamp, you know, Bayou St. John. Sometimes at the lake, Lake Pontchartrain.
Interesante.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Sankal means?
No, I don't.
Give me an example of Gree-Gree.
All right, here's an old one. Take a lodestone and some brimstone to a crossroads at midnight. Light the brimstone with a match. A spirit will come and give you advice in gambling.
Have you ever heard the word Schattenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndful?
There are many voodoo churches in Nolans, no?
Yes, but have you heard of a secret voodoo houndful?
Wherever did you hear such a ridiculous story? There is no such thing.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
It is the oldest, darkest heart of voodoo.
Do you know anything about...
There are some things it's better not to know about, Monsieur Knight.
Do you know anything about Veve?
I don't know anything about that.
I know anything about Marie Laveau.
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They're too close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Interesante.
Dr. John tells me you're a voodoo practitioner of some kind.
Yes, I'm a voodooienne, a voodoo priestess.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
¿Será que de esa serpiente pueda conseguir alguna escama? Dejar así. Ponle de cristal.
Gabriel figures that many men have picked up things in Magentia's parlor.
Okay.
She's a bit busy at the moment.
Muy bien.
There. Truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it. Could I ask you a few more questions?
Certainly.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
How did you learn how to handle Grimwald?
I told you, a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Uh-huh. Fascinating. Where did you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me, monsieur. I am sure they know better than we.
How about showing me your snake dance again?
No,
I won't make you wait. I shall again
me equivoqué.
amaze you.
You certainly will.
No, me equivoqué de botón, no es eso. Bueno, dale. Bueno, entra. No. Aquí, bueno, lo que tenemos. Tú después te voy a mostrar mis bronces serpientes. Una gente podría estar en adicional para chiflado. Ya está un poquito loca, pero tenía buena información. Dice que vivió bajo la reina brutal y que cuando ella era más joven asistió a las ceremonias locales como la expresa. También sabía mucho sobre que suena como tu oficio vudú. Pequeños hechizos y remedios para todo. Hasta conseguir la venganza. Ya tiene una pena que le deja mucho llamada y pero parece que ella no sería capaz de divisarse una pulgada si lo necesitara. Este señor me da sus cosas. Supongo. Podemos hablar.
She's a bit busy at the moment. There's a chest in the corner that looks like a carnival machine. Gabriel figures that it's impolite to mess with other people's stuff. Gabriel should wait until he's asked.
Quizás las escamas sirven.
There. Truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it. Could I ask you a few more questions?
Certainly.
About Grimwald.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scales.
Tell me anything at all.
You have to be careful when handling a snake. They're more delicate than they look.
I'll bet. Nothing. Never mind.
All right.
Bueno, supongo que un Badagris.
Does Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that.
Bien, gracias.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible.
¿Por qué?
There is badness there. Very bad.
Why?
So you don't think the voodoo aspects of the case are fake?
Fake? Let me tell you about fake. If I get information through the grapevine and make use of it, is that fake? No. That is part of a voodooien's power. If people don't believe, there's not much I can do. But if they do believe, that is a part of my power too. But there are things, monsieur. Things not even a little bit fake, I can tell you. Believe it or not, but stay away from it.
What do you mean? Do you know something about the case?
I work hard on fine-tuning my spiritual antennae, Monsieur Knight. And I get a clear signal from that direction. Beware.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gris-gris and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
Creo que nada más.
It's not that easy to get a message from the crystal ball. Gabriel
¿Puedo?
Gabriel,
Nope.
it's impolite to
Utilization mensaje.
Gabriel. Whatever they do, Gabriel is... It's a large cluster of quartz crystals. Magenta's snake looks a little sickly. A large, sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magenta is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner. Gabriel,
Sí,
the
vamos a
mask
ver.
is made of carved wood and looks African.
Bueno, me retiro.
Well, I guess I'll be going now.
As you wish. May the protection of the snake god go with you.
Oh, thanks. Why is it so dark in here? Dr. John? Hello?
Oh, mierda.
Uh-oh.
Ah, no me voy a acordar, hijo de puta.
You bastard!
Good day, Mr. Knight.
That thing just tried to kill me.
He did. I am sorry. The museum is closed today, you see. We were not expecting visitors. But if you will excuse me, Mr. Knight, I must go look for him. He is incredibly valuable.
You don't need to ask twice. I'm out of here. By the way, you might want to lock your door the next time you're closed.
Not a bad idea. Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Interesante. Sospechoso.
What happened to you?
Who, me? Nothing. Why?
You're kind of a pale green color. Come here.
Pale green, you say? Charming.
What's that on your face?
I'm sure you'll tell me.
Looks like a sparkly or something. Got it.
I love it when you pick stuff off my face, Grace.
Well, excuse me.
The old desk is one Gabriel picked up near a dumpster. Not too shabby, huh? But okay, maybe it is.
¿Qué es eso?
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
¿Todavía?
That doesn't work.
Ahora que lo pienso, no leí el periódico de hoy. Veamos qué dice. No lo leí.
Times dated June 22nd, 1993. Disgusted with the state of the voodoo murder case, Gabriel turns right to his horoscope. The shadow upon you is no longer reversible.
Wonderful.
El próximo fin de semana se llevará a cabo el 15º Festival de Jazz Dixieland anual. Un evento al aire libre donde todo el día celebrando jazz de todas las clases y para todas las edades. Músicos de jazz estarán actuando gratuitamente a lo largo del día en varios escenarios, incluyendo a lo largo de Bourbon Street. Muchos restaurantes, cafés y bares locales estarán ofreciendo escenarios también. En la sección de eventos locales para ver el programa completo de... Esto va a estar feo. Bueno, pero...
There's something in the ashtray.
Una lupa, supongo. Veamos.
There's a snake scale in the ashtray.
The
The item in the ashtray is too small to pick up by hand.
Oh. Pinzas.
Gabriel finds a snake scale in the ashtray. It's a souvenir from the museum's python. Gabriel magnifies the snake scale from the Voodoo Museum's python. It's a snake scale from the Voodoo Museum's python.
Es lo mismo.
Gabriel is carrying a scale he found near the crime scene at Lake Pontchartrain.
No me digas que esto sí sirve como prueba, hermano. Tenemos dos.
Hey, Mostly.
Knight, I had a feeling you'd show up.
Ahora sí te tengo algo. Primero déjame ver una notación. Acabo de agredir a la maldita serpiente de Western. ¿Por qué no estaba cerrado, papá? ¿Y por qué no estaba la serpiente en su jaula?
You'll never guess how I got this snake scale. You know that voodoo museum in town? Well, the snake tried to strangle me.
Uh-huh, I bet. Look, I don't have anything against you playing amateur PI, but if I get calls about you molesting animals, I'm gonna have to put a stop to it.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No? Is that anything like a Chuck Yeager?
I don't think there's any relation. What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
That's coming up, isn't it? We get some occasional weirdness in the quarter, but nothing much. We used to have a lot of strange things happen, though, or so I hear.
Dame una pista. Acá cerrado que yo como demuestro que es un todo real. Es real también. momento.
Hi.
Vamos a hablarlo.
Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Man, I don't even know what language that is.
Gracias. Venga, si me sobra.
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Nope, can't say that I have.
Bueno. Vamos a abrir el mapa.
Posted on the door of the museum is a sign saying, closed today only. This time the door is actually locked. He places the two scales together. The two iridescent scales are a perfect match. Gabriel has matched the Lake Pontchartrain scale with the scale from the museum
No,
python.
mira, que literalmente tiene que ser eso para que me contaras. Ya. Literalmente tenía que ser eso. ¿En serio? Solo para saber que cuál es. Bien. Se vale que me creas. Vamos, más lío ahora sí. Si no me crees en esta, por favor.
Detective Mosley. Hard at work, I see.
Yeah. What is it, you wanker?
Muchas cosas.
Can I ask you about...
You're the writer. Ask away.
No, un momento.
I have these two snake scales. One's from the crime scene at Lake Pontchartrain. The other's from a snake in the Voodoo Museum on Ursulines and Charters.
Is this common? Do they all look alike?
Not at all. They're both constrictor scales and the coloring is the same. A python's coloring is quite individualistic.
A python?
That's right. Hardly an indigenous snake to Louisiana. Somehow, some way, the Voodoo Museum's python was at the scene of the Lake Pontchartrain murder.
Well, I'd call that a lead, all right. It definitely suggests certain lines of inquiry at the museum. Not bad work, Knight. Whether or not the museum's involved with a legitimate voodoo cult, though, is another matter. These guys may just be faking it, too.
Can I ask you about...
You're the writer. Ask away.
How can I convince you to real...
I already proved that...
Pero si te he mostrado. ¿Qué más pongo?
I have this. Take a look at these notes. They're from Professor Hartridge at Tulane University.
Yeah? What about them?
They confirm that the pattern from the murders is of African origin.
This is interesting if it's true. But how do you know he had the right pattern?
Diario de Gunther.
the newspaper clipping. It includes. Gabriel.
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the voodoo murders, right down to the marks around the bodies.
This does sound like the same MO. 1810.
1810. They killed then, they're killing now. Isn't that proof that they're likely to kill again? Or that they are a threat?
Sure, if there is a voodoo cult, they're a threat.
Dios. Este tipo es difícil de convencer, por lo menos dame una ayuda.
Wolfgang's.
Dear Gabriel, please, God be with you.
That doesn't prove anything.
Ok. Y esto tampoco. Ahí.
That doesn't prove.
Perfect. I took this tracing from a tattoo on Crash's chest. It's related to the underworld voodoo cult.
Yeah? What makes you think that?
It's what Crash said just before he died.
He was probably hallucinating from the drugs he OD'd on. Probably got that in the Navy or something.
No, I'm sure it's related. It's a snake, see? And if...
Even if it were a signal of some sort, that doesn't prove that the murders were done by a legit voodoo cult.
¿Qué más te puedo mostrar?
I have that murder photo you left for me.
Good. Just don't let anyone know I gave it to you.
I wouldn't show it to a soul. You know those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
What makes you think this is an accurate reconstruction?
Well, I borrowed the partial patterns from your police file and did my own tracing of the pattern at Lake Pontchartrain. An architectural artist reconstructed it for me from the partials.
Really? So this is the whole pattern, huh? That's pretty good work, Knight. So that's what Hartridge used, huh? I guess his analysis is on target then. Okay, the murders were committed by a legitimate voodoo cult. You proved your point. Okay, I'll reopen the case. I hate to admit it, but you've done some pretty good detective work here, Knight.
Well, you know what they say. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Well, point taken. Glad I could inspire you. I'll check around the department, but I have a feeling I'm on my own. I'll be in touch. Meanwhile, you stay out of trouble. I mean it.
I'll try. Thanks, bud.
Now lay low and let me handle this.
Yeah, fine.
Posted on the door.
Mr. Harry, Museo Vudú. Sí, todo eso.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
The windows of St. George's Books overlook Bourbon Street.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
No. Entonces ya está. Vamos a ir a dónde iría.